Welcome to our weekly Team Prosperity meeting that takes place every Wednesday. This week, we're going to dive into a specific topic. The time of these meetings just depends on what needs to be covered. There's no specific time allocated. So today is August 18th. We want to be laying the tracks, laying the foundations for your business, because if we don't pounce now, this is the targeted opportunity that we've all been waiting for. The next probably 9 to 12 months is when a lot of businesses will be created inside this company, digital agencies, distribution will be created. So you have a time where, we talk about different times. There's times to be aggressive and there's time to be passive. This is the time to be very, very, very aggressive in what we're trying to do. One of the things that comes up continuously, and it's really starting to help me out, is just block my time. And when you guys understand the value of time blocking, even if it's something as simple as, building a presentation for this Wednesday meeting or sending an email or whatever it might be, if you block the time, you're going to be able to look at it, probably get it done. And then the cumulative factor of having time blocks throughout the day, you're going to get way more done than you ever thought possible. And you will not feel overwhelmed really at any point. Without time blocking, you have this big long list that you've got to get done. And most of the time, we're just going to continue to stare at it. Last week, you guys, in the CEO Club Lounge, we talked about using digital to take on these old stale models that haven't really grown digitally. We talked about cash flow breakdown for an online business, what that looks like, figuring out what your partners and your clients want, challenging yourself in business daily, always being solutions-based, and the simple equation of want more, do more. So this week, you guys, we're going to talk about one thing and one thing only, and that is the funnel. And at the very top of the funnel, if you guys take care of what needs to be taken care of, then the rest of it will either take care of itself or you can nudge it along manually through the pipeline process. But if you are making people aware that you're in business and then you're educating those people, like I said, the pipeline will build and you will have outcomes. Without the awareness and without the education, nothing else can really happen. So raise awareness. One of the biggest things that I see is problematic for agents and partners coming in is they don't let anybody know they're actually in business. So if you want somebody to do business with you, the first thing you've got to do is make sure people know, hey, I'm in business. This is what I do. Come talk to me. Can't be a secret agent really in any type of a business. You want to go out there. You want to have personal branding. You want to do the things necessary so that people know that you're actually out there doing business. That comes from marketing, you guys, and marketing doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be about sending videos and following up 18,000 times to see if they watch the video. It's not about any specific thing other than raising awareness and education. The education that we provide comes from a lot of our, how-to guides, ebooks, all those things we've been creating. It's a lot easier when you approach somebody not to sell them anything, not to try to recruit them in anything, but to give them something they actually want, which will start the process of you getting the information from the opt-in and then taking care of the rest of either the automated pipeline of activity, or if you have to step in there to kind of nudge them through the pipeline. So let's talk about the different markets real quick, because I think that people have a misunderstanding about how to approach some of these markets. Now, this is not a concrete business model that you have to follow. This is some things that over the past few years, we found that really, really, really helps, because one of the biggest factors in the warm market is a lot of those people know you. They've known you for a long period of time, and they have a certain image of you. And so in order to break out of that image and in order to get the communication flowing in the warm market, we need to concentrate on this approach. And this approach is one where you want to get them understanding, what you're doing, why you're doing it, and really asking them if they'll help you. Because, being, in the warm market, being, some type of a relative, close friend, acquaintance, whatever it might be, letting them know, hey, I'm doing this. I would like your help. Your opinion really matters to me. It's one of the easiest ways for people to get behind what you're trying to do. Sure, I would love to give you my opinion. Sure, I'll check out whatever it is that you're sending. Say, hey, I've made this. This is what I'm doing in the marketplace. This is why. I'd really appreciate it if you were to do this to help me out and give me your opinion, whether that's opting in and having them get all the emails, the text, the voicemail drops, going through the funnel, whatever it might be. Hey, I need your help. I value your opinion. Will you give me some feedback on this? The warm market needs to be centered around the mission, why it is that you're doing what you're doing. And then on the other side, hey, do you mind helping me? Your opinion matters. That's the easiest way to get the information out to the warm market. You don't want to sell. You don't want to recruit the warm market. You want the warm market to be introduced to what you're doing through a non-threatening type of approach. And this is very, very easy for the other side to understand. Why is it you're talking to me about this? Oh, you need my help. You value my opinion. Sure, I would love to help you. Now, once you guys and once your agents leave the warm market, you never really leave the warm market, but you get to the point that you go through the first round. And then basically it's walk of life. Somebody comes around, you might bring it up in the future. But once you exit out of the initial cycle of the warm market, you have to realize that as you're leaving that, your whole approach changes in the way that you're going to be talking to people. And the most defined way that you can get behind activity that's going to get you the end results that you're looking for is to make sure that you understand the persona. Who is it that I'm trying to talk to? Why is it that I'm trying to talk to them? And why should they be listening to me? Once you develop a persona, identify that person, find out where they are, get a message out to them that resonates with them, have them raise their hand, say, yeah, I would like more information. I would like that guide. I would like to talk to you about this, that, or the other. So once you leave the warm market, you need to develop a persona. And that persona is going to be carried over into a few different markets. Now, outside the warm market, you have the common market. Now, the common market, you have some very, very, very loose affiliation, a school, a former employer, whatever it might be. You don't know this person, but that upfront common market, that loose affiliation will buy you the upfront time to start the conversation. So once again, I'm not just blindly going out with anybody who went to my school. I've got my personas. And if you're following that persona, and you also went to my college, or you also are a member of this civic group, or you are a past employee of this employer, that gives me the opportunity, buys that extra first 60 seconds or so to get somebody listening to me. Once they start to listen to you, you should have a message based on that persona that's going to be delivered to them that has a decent amount of those people raising their hand and say, yeah, I'll take a look. When you get to social media, you have to understand that if you're dialed into your persona, then it's as easy as finding out, where is my persona? Where are they hanging out? Are they in LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups of certain natures, whatever it might be? And then once again, you have that message that goes out to them. It has a certain percentage of people raise their hand or message back or whatever it is that you're trying to do. But once again, if you don't have personas of who you're trying to identify and the reasons why, the blanketed approaches online, they just don't work because you're just trying to talk to everybody about everything, and you can't be everything to everyone. So understand, personas, no matter where you are, is important because it gives you a defined routine and an activity to concentrate on, and you get better and better and better at talking to that specific person or persona to the point where you start to know them and their problems really better than they do. And then outside of that is the cold market. Guys, the cold market works the same way. Once you have a defined persona, where in the cold market can you place classifieds, advertisements? Can you get a list of real estate agents, CPAs, insurance agents, reach out to these people with a value lead magnet that they actually want that opens the conversation. It's a lot easier for somebody to go in an opt-in page, put their name, phone number, email address, than for you to say, hey, give me all that information on there. I'll email this to you, may or may not get there. And I'll follow up with you continuously until I found out that you never watched or received it. So we're trying to make this as easy and have your activity as efficient as possible. You are an educator. And when you understand that, it comes from a position of power because like I said, on the front end of these conversations, all you're doing is trying to educate somebody on how to, for example, sell more homes, make more money, sell more insurance, make more money, pay off your house in a record time, whatever it is. The education is what we do once the awareness has been made. So once people know that you're in business, then you want to start to educate as many people as possible based on the personas that you're targeting. That comes from the lead magnet. Like I said, it is so easy to go out there and talk to people if you're actually going to give them something they actually want. And we try to create lead magnets that have value. We don't just throw these things together. And when you're out there offering it, I promise you that if a lead magnet goes out, those people are 100% going to find value in this, which makes the follow-up conversations much, much, much easier. The opt-in forms. This is, what you're trying to do. You're trying to, for example, that front end of your funnel, whatever that URL is, I'm trying to get people to that page to opt in for the lead magnet, to give them the education that they're looking for. And then once this opt-in happens, there's a lot that's going on behind closed doors automatically for you guys. And then you can also step in if needed to push people, through that pipeline. So through email, social, blog, whatever it is, you're sending people to that landing page with the opt-in form for the lead magnet. The offer is given and the lead is generated. This is how we generate leads. And then, like I said, through the automated process or the manual process, we continue to create outcomes. So let's talk about the automation a little bit, because behind our funnels, we have marketing campaigns that are automated, text, emails, voicemail drops. We have triggers built in, which are like, virtual assistants that will go ahead and do a lot of that stuff in the back end based on the action from the front side. So your prospect does this, well, it's going to trigger something in the back end. So a lot of the little work will be taken care of for you. However, when you log in, so once somebody opts into those lead magnets, then they become a lead and then they're in your pipeline. So if they're being automatically pushed through that pipeline, great. But if they get stuck, you see that somebody's stuck in a column and they're not moving, you can step in on a manual basis and try to help push them through the pipeline. You are not trying to push somebody towards a specific outcome. You're just trying to push them towards an outcome, because we really don't care at the end of the day. We don't get emotional about this. We either want people to opt in, have these meetings with us, or opt out. I've seen the information. I don't want to see anymore. I'm gone. That's really all we're looking to do. And through that process, we're going to create a pipeline. And that pipeline is going to create the outcomes. And like I said, if you don't get emotional about any one specific person, lead, outcome, this business becomes a lot easier for you. And then as the leads are coming in, it's our job to make sure that we successfully resolve that lead. Once again, we don't care how the lead ends up. We just want it resolved. We don't want it in the pipeline stuck forever. Our job is to get it from A to B continuously. And we're offering free stuff, guys. It's not hard to go out in the marketplace, even in the cold market, and offer free stuff that has value. So if you call somebody up and you dialed into the persona, you're offering a lead magnet that has value, it should be easy to A, open and continue that conversation, and B, follow up if needed, because when you follow up, you've given them valuable information. So that, information has a lot of relevancy, it's timely, all of these things that we try to build into our ebooks and guides got value. That's where the follow-up communication becomes very easy. So if the follow-up is done automatically, which it is, and it's pushing people through the pipeline, great. Then the automation is doing its job. But if it's not, then you have to step in manually and help push that through the pipeline. And what are you following up? What's your communication based on? Did you get the guide? Did you read it? What did you think of it? Did you get value out of it? It's a lot easier to ask those questions than getting into a conversation where you feel you have to sell or recruit somebody. The automated follow-up is going to be there. Your manual follow-up is there as well. And like I said, the manual follow-up in the beginning, if you never talk to this person outside that front-end conversation, get the guide, talking about what you gave them of value to make sure the goal was met. They got value out of it. It's not hard to tell people, hey, I'm following up to make sure you receive the guide, make sure you got value out of it, and see if you got any feedback on it. That gets the conversation going. It's non-threatening. Once again, just like the warm market, where you already know these people, you're asking for their opinion, you're asking for the help. You're doing the same thing here. It's just through the kind of like a back door. Different approaches and methods, guys. I shy away from, like, when we first started building virtual financial services businesses, I was letting everybody kind of use the same messages. What I find is we have all our own personalities, and that's what shines best. So when you guys ask me for, ways to communicate with people, I'll throw out some ideas, but I want you guys to insert your personality in there, because everybody is different. And a lot of you guys are able to connect with people on the front end very easy. I don't want to disrupt that with language that doesn't fit into your personality. Be you, be authentic, because that's what people are going to be attracted to. And as you're pushing this stuff out, like I said, through the automated system or through the manual system, you've got a lot of communication coming. You've got the phone, you got email, you got social media message, you got text, plenty of ways to get in front of people to do one thing. Once that lead's created, resolve it. And the information that we give out, guys, is very, very valuable. So like I said, when you're following up with people, it's not about, bringing them into the company. It's not about selling them a product. It's about talking about what was sent over. Did they receive it? Like we talked about, did they get value out of it? Do they have any feedback for us? Would they like to learn more about how to, whatever it is, the guide? If it's sell more insurance, make more money, sell more houses, make more money, business development as a CPA, pay off our house in a record at a time. That's the area of concentration for the conversation. And then you're funneling them down, whether it's a potential partner or a client, into that front-end education meeting where we can do, more one-on-one rapport, trust, credibility, get the information out, everything we're trying to do that can lead us to those final outcomes, partner, client, either. Like I said, there's a lot of different ways to get to A to B. So there's not something set in stone. And if you're the type of person that's just going to let all the automation do the work for you and never, do the manual process of pushing through the pipeline, you're going to find that your growth, revenue, and income falls short of that person who's willing to do both parts, the automated and the manual part, to get us to point B. And remember, the online meeting is all we're trying to do. So if somebody got value out of the guide and you guys are having a good conversation, push them to the online meeting with the preface that, hey, there's nothing to buy at this meeting. We're going to give you free education, free gifts. You have nothing to risk, potentially everything to gain for you on a personal level, business level, whatever the conversation communication is centered around. And that's going to give you what you want. That you're going to get in those educational meetings. You're going to find answers, conclusions, solutions by talking to people. And from those conversations that we're going to go this way, that way, the other way. That educational meeting, guys, is everything to us. That produces our outcomes. If you have enough book meetings and your show rate is decent, then there is 100% chance of possibility for success in this business. Because if you give your efforts time to compound, and if you do what we tell you to do, follow our lead, I promise you will be able to build an agency and then a portfolio of digital agencies, if you wish, that will give you everything that you're looking for, the different streams of cash flow in this business, the equity, everything that you want coming in is right before you. And that's going to produce, like I said, sometimes those meetings produce absolutely nothing. Nothing is an outcome. And it's not a bad outcome, guys. It just means that it didn't fit. There wasn't, it didn't line up. You don't want to force pieces that don't fit. And you're not trying to make somebody that they're not. You're just trying to find the appropriate fits, whether that be a potential client, a potential partner. And like I said, on the backside of that would be neither. If you're getting enough outcomes, clients and partners will come because of everything that we talk about, everything we put in the Facebook group, everything that shows that we are at a time in history right now where what we have, the products and services, it's much needed. We're going to have a strong entire decade at least. So you guys just need to make sure that if you understand the possibility, equal that possibility with your activity. And that's going to get you guys, like I said, the revenue, the income, the partner growth, the client growth, the promotions, the equity, everything that you're looking for, including, as you walk up these stairs and build this business, ultimately, and so many people that I talked to in so many different industries over the past few years, very, very, very few people have the ability or the mindset to build distribution. So ultimately in partners, yeah, we're looking for partners that want this, but ultimately we're looking for partners who understand the model, who want to become a dedicated distribution partner and help you build nationwide distribution. You know what nationwide distribution leads us to? It leads you to an exit strategy. And like I said, I've talked to so many people over the past few years, gotten the crash course in human psychology. Most people do not have a clue. Most people do not have an exit strategy. They're either, on the client side, they're just going to pay debt forever with no real idea of when it's going to end, or on the partner side, some of these self-employed people with small practices, or even people with small businesses, they do not have an exit strategy. One of the things I come into a business with, and David and I were talking about this earlier today, always have your exit strategy. If not, how are you going to be able to exit? Everything, guys, that we talked about starts with you, and it starts with top of the funnel. That's all you have to master, is talking to certain types of people, providing them with value, getting the conversation open, and learning how to push them through the pipeline through our automated tools, or you stepping in manually. I think we've trimmed this down to a very, very approachable, easy method that basically anybody that comes in from day one with the infrastructure that we have should feel confident in going out there and initiating some of those conversations. Guys, like I said, it's not a specific time each week for these meetings. We're going to do whatever is necessary on a weekly basis to help you. That's all we've got for this week. So let me stop the recording